A very good morning. You're watching Today in Parliament with me, Aishwarya Kapoor, and here are the Parliament headlines. Third week of ongoing monsoon session of Parliament, a right of children to free and compulsory education amendment bill 2018 in Rajya Sabha's agenda. HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar to move the National Council for Teacher Education Amendment Bill 2018 in the Rajya Sabha. Bill to give a retrospective recognition to institutes offering teacher education courses without NCTE permission. Several ministers to make statements in the upper house. Rajya Singh Rathore to make statement regarding Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. Several ministers to lay papers relating to respective ministries. And the Criminal Law Amendment Bill 2018 in the Lok Sabha, provision for stringent punishment including death penalty for those convicted of raping girls below age of 12 years. Today is the 8th sitting of the ongoing monsoon session of Parliament. The session so far has been productive, with several bills being cleared in both the houses. The Rajya Sabha today is slated to take up the National Council for Teacher Education Amendment Bill 2018 and the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Amendment Bill 2018. And in the Lok Sabha, the Criminal Law Amendment Bill 2018 and the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, the Second Amendment Bill 2018 will be moved. The ongoing session will end on 10th of August. We have with us our colleague Kriti Mishra joining us live from Parliament. A very good morning, Kriti. So, ongoing monsoon session so far has been very productive, and today as well, two key bills related to the country's education system are going to come up in the Rajya Sabha. That is the National Council for Teacher Education Amendment Bill and the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Amendment Bill.
Well, that's right, Aishwarya. As you said, this session has so far been highly efficacious, and today also important bills are listed in day's agenda. So there's National Council for Teachers Education Bill that provides retrospective recognition to institutions providing teachers education without the approval of NCTE. Remember, Aishwarya, this is a one-time measure to provide recognition to such institutions so that the future of the children seeking education from such institutions is not jeopardized. There's also a Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Amendment Bill that will be taken up in the upper house today. Remember, this bill also extends the deadline for teachers to acquire prescribed minimum qualification. This will improve overall teaching quality and also improve the learning outcome and also reinforce government's emphasis on elementary and primary education. So certainly important bills pertaining to education would be taken up in the upper house today. Aishwarya?
And Kriti, as far as lower house is concerned, of course, in the lower house also some very important bills are to come up for consideration passage. Of course, two bills related to finance, banks, that is the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Bill, and of course the State Banks Repeal and Amendment Bill. And also the most important, that is the bill that provides a stringent punishment for those convicted of raping girls below the age of 12 years. All these are going to come up.
Well, that's right, Aishwarya. In the Lok Sabha, most importantly, the Criminal Law Amendment Bill would be taken up. Remember, this bill provides for death penalty for those persons convicted of raping girls below 12 years of age. That is certainly the most important bill. The lower house would also take amendments moved by the Rajya Sabha to the State Bank of India Repeal and Amendment Bill. There's also Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Bill and also the Commercial Codes Bill. So certainly a very important day as far as the Lok Sabha is concerned. Aishwarya?
Right, a very heavy legislative agenda today in both houses of Parliament. Thank you so much, Kriti, for all those updates there. And as Kriti was telling us, the Rajya Sabha will take up the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Amendment Bill 2018. HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar will move the bill. The bill seeks to further amend the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act of 2009. And the Rajya Sabha is also scheduled to take up the National Council for Teacher Education Amendment Bill 2018. HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar will move the bill that seeks to amend the National Council for Teacher Education Act of 1993. The bill seeks to provide post facto approval to those approved institutions which are funded by the centre or states but do not have recognition under the 1993 law. It has been passed by the Lok Sabha. And in the legislative agenda in the Lok Sabha today, Homeopathy Central Council Amendment Bill 2018 and the Criminal Law Amendment Bill 2018 will be moved. Also in the lower house, criminal law amendment bill will be taken up that provides for stringent punishment, including death penalty for those convicted of raping girls below the age of 12 years. And once passed by Parliament, the amendment bill will replace the Criminal Law Amendment Ordinance. And also in the Lower House, Finance Minister Piyush Goyal will move the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Second Amendment Bill 2018 to further amend the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. The Lower House will also take up the State Bank's Repeal and Amendment Bill 2017. It is for consideration of Rajya Sabha amendments to the bill to repeal the State Bank of India Subsidiary Banks Act of 1959, the State Bank of Hyderabad Act of 1956 and to further amend the State Bank of India Act 1955. The Lower House will also take up the Commercial Courts, Commercial Division and Commercial Appellate Division of High Courts Amendment Bill 2018 and also the Constitution 123rd Amendment Bill 2017 will be taken up by the Lower House. And in the Rajya Sabha today, obituary references will be paid to the passing away of ex-member N. Thangaraj Pandian. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu will lead the House in paying obituary to the departed member. And several ministers are going to make statements in the upper house today. Rajya Singh Rathore will make a statement pertaining to the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. Ram Kripal Yadav will make a statement pertaining to the Department of Rural Development. Arjun Ram Meghwal will make a statement on the Ministry of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation. And Subhash Ram Rao Bhamre will make a statement regarding the Ministry of Defence. And the following ministers will lay papers on the table in the Rajya Sabha today. Harshvardhan for the Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change. Mahesh Sharma for the Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change. Rajya Singh Rathore for the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting and Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. Ram Kripal Yadav for the Ministry of Rural Development. Haribhai Parthibhai Chaudhary for the Ministry of Mines. Arjun Ram Meghwal for the Ministry of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation. Mansukh L. Manvia for the Ministry of Shipping and Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Subhash Ram Rao Bhamre for the Ministry of Defence. Satyapal Singh for the Ministry of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation. And the following questions will be asked in the Rajya Sabha, for which ministers concerned will give replies. Here are a few of them. Kanwardeep Singh will ask the Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports whether it is a fact that India's performance in international sports is not up to the mark. P. Bhattacharya will ask the Minister of Defence whether the budgetary provisions have been made as per the current requirements of various defence services in view of the challenges being faced by our defence personnel. Sukhram Singh Yadav will ask the Minister of Rural Development whether it is a fact that job card holders are not getting sufficient amount of work under Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme in various states, including Chhattisgarh and Uttar Pradesh. A. Vijaya Kumar will ask the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting whether a number of Indian channels have lost their permission to telecast in the country. Ramnath Thakur will ask Minister of Environment, Forests and Climate Change whether it is a fact that Indian cities are witnessing an alarming increase in the number of deaths due to high carbon emission and vehicular pollution. That's all in this edition of Today in Parliament. Do stay tuned. The proceedings of the upper house are going to begin in a short while from now. Thanks for watching.